time to dig into the forgotten depths of the Spiderweb Software library again, and of course when I say that, I mean the Richard White games. Other than the Exile series, these are the only Spiderweb games you can't buy from them anymore. All the rest are easily obtained through Steam. You know a game's good when it starts with O Fortuna. You can put O Fortuna over anything and it sounds epic.
In what way is this supposed to be an RPG if you can do quests and stuff? All you do is press 1 button the entire time!
The era where you could get away with that. Now I have to hope I don't get slapped for playing a short clip of a 40-year-old recording of a 70-year-old song based off a 13th century poem. Thanks, modern technology! Anyways, we've actually been playing these games out of order. This is the third Richard White game made in 1999. Oceanbound was the second one, whose ending referenced the first one, called Rock Solid, both made in 1998. Though I'm not sure if Rock Solid was a Spiderweb Software published game, but I digress. Still looks interesting. Finally, we'd have Galactic Core in 2001, which we'll cover later. You might notice that Richard White's entire lineup is strategy games. Not that that's a bad thing, but as strategy games, the ones we've played so far don't have a lot of depth to them. Really, both Lost Souls and Oceanbound have the same types of issues to them. They're alright as bite-sized levels, but to go through all of them shows how much of a slog the mechanics really are. Strategy games are surprisingly hard to get right. I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but this game is going to be a bit hard to talk about. Let's start with the premise. You're basically leading battles with the souls of the damned, I think. The intro story talks about your soldiers having fallen many times before. It's all very vague, but in between that and the title Lost Souls, I assume that's what's going on. We're even given a name, Eris, which we never see again, so it's totally pointless. I don't know why this game decides to take things so seriously. It loses all that old shareware charm that Oceanbound had. Oceanbound was goofy and didn't have to take itself very seriously. This just feels like some old schlock fantasy novel you find on the shelves of Goodwill somewhere that doesn't know it's schlock. Once again, like Oceanbound, not to say the game is bad, it's just a bit too repetitive. It does take more effort than Oceanbound, at least. Half of me playing that game was just waiting. Here, at least I'm thinking about what I'm doing. Now I should actually cover the mechanics. Your objective is to eliminate your opponents by capturing all their territory. Each turn you get mana, 1 for each peaceful land at the beginning of your turn, and 10 for each tower. Use this mana to create things, 10 for a bridge, 20 for a pawn, 30 for an archer, and 40 for a knight. Pawns and archers move in single space, differing only in how they capture pieces. Archers don't advance themselves, leaving room for other pieces to go forward and keeping themselves out of danger. Knights move up to 2 spaces. Movement is also increased by 1 if the pieces go on a road at any time. You see what I did there, right? I described the mechanics of this game. All of them. In about 15 seconds. Now I will say, the bridges, the archers, they add a small amount of depth to Lost Souls. Sometimes the bridges let you do some things that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. They also don't count as territory, so you can't create units on bridges or anything like that. I get that sometimes simple mechanics can be engrossing, but it's just not quite the case here. Not for 60 levels anyway. I miss the silly level designs from Oceanbound as well, but I do understand that those probably wouldn't work as well with these game mechanics, especially since it's isometric now. No battling on a giant Apple logo for us here. On the other hand, the later maps actually put you in more interesting scenarios, and you start thinking about if you should use bridges, because the enemy can use them too. Should I focus on manpower or create fast-moving knights? If there's one thing going for these games, there's always at least some levels that keep you engaged. Oh, you're also fighting an AI, so a lot of the enjoyment of this game is going to hinge on how the AI performs. It's terrible. And yes, I know I just praised the map design, but the AI is hot garbage. It's bad enough that I was surprised the first time the AI decided to build a bridge. It's like the AI from Fire Emblem. It just charges at you in a suicidal manner, hoping to get through. And sometimes it doesn't even do that properly. Of course, in Fire Emblem, you care a lot more about the units the enemy is throwing themselves into, so as dumb as it is, it works a bit better there. In this game, not so much. At least the AI will attack each other as much as you. The best way to win a one-on-one fight is to be the third to arrive. It also suffers from a lot of the same clunkiness of Oceanbound. You have to manually save, though this game actually supports mid-level saving, so that's nice. On top of that, the game also suffers a bit from what I call risk syndrome. You know you're gonna win at some point, and you spend the next little while just sweeping everything up. To be fair, a lot of strategy games fall into this, so it's more of a nitpick compared to the other problems, but it's still annoying. There's also different difficulty options. Maybe that's why the AI was straight up retarded. I've been playing on easy this whole time. Let's crank that bad boy up. No, it just starts the computer players with more mana. That's this game's idea of difficulty. Yeah, forget this. This game is like Oceanbound. It's a curiosity that might be worth a look, but probably not worth playing all the way through. The ending isn't even really worth it. It's just quoting someone I'd never heard of and talking about how the fighting is done, at least for today. I was hoping this game would at least be amusing after Oceanbound, but it really wasn't even that. It even uses the same stock sound effects from Oceanbound. The production value on this is just lazy. If it at least set an atmosphere that matched the whole Afterlife thing, ethereal sounds and such, that'd be kinda cool. At the very least, it could find a different set of stock sounds. Keep in mind, this is 1999. You had things like Civ 2 and StarCraft out by this point. Heck, if that was too expensive and you were looking for shareware strategy titles, there were things like Ares and Spaceward Ho out there. I hope Rock Solid and Galactic Core have something better in store for us. As it is, I'm basically talking about Lost Souls because it's related to Spiderweb Software. Well, and because it's old Macintosh software, but you knew that already. This is Tanara Kuranov signing off. Until next time.